Morning everyone, so welcome back to the channel, and on today's episode I'm lucky enough to get a test drive finally for a Polestar 2. So anyone that's been watching the channel will know last year, because of the lockdowns, I had 2 reservations, and both times I was in lockdown, so I couldn't actually get to my reservations. I'm now here on a very wet Milton Keynes morning, and I'm sitting in the Polestar 2 ready for my test drive. Hopefully this should be a lot of fun. So here we are, we're just on the test drive, and we're following the white Polestar, and we're off. We just had a briefing, which was, I must admit, like from the moment you got here, we're in an industrial estate in the middle of Milton Keynes.
Take the next left onto Erica Road, then
and there's Google.
Right to stay on it.
But from the moment we got here, we're greeted with a guy with an umbrella because it's absolutely chucking it down. And then, you know, you order your coffee, you sign in. And yeah, just everyone was just like really friendly, so hats off to the guys and girls at Polestar. Yeah, they very knowledgeable, and it's exactly what you'd hope dealers would get to. But I get a feeling the age of dealers is kind of dead. I'd like to see more of a digital way of buying your car, a bit like Tesla. Initial handling, just going around a roundabout, and there's plenty of those in Milton Keynes, is obviously heavier than the i3, which you'd expect for a bigger car, but nimble as well. Quality inside and out of this car is just generally spectacular. Initial impressions are just, I know it's very early days, but it's like 1-1. You know, just the exterior and the interior. Again, I don't like cars that are just normal and boring, and this is far from normal and boring. I'm driving the performance pack model, so this has got the different type of suspension and brakes. WLTP range of approximately 280 miles, and 0 to 60 in 4 seconds apparently, and we'll try that out. Everything about this car shouts premium and quality. Now the price is a little bit premium, I think around 50,000 upwards. But what you're getting for it is, personally, I you know, I'm not sure against the Model 3, but this is probably the closest comparison I would say. And I've driven one of those, and yeah, I mean, the refinement in here is what you'd expect from a company that came from Volvo. As much as normal Volvos are generally pretty dull, this is far from dull. Now, I kind of wish in some ways that it was a sunny day, but at the same time, this gives me a proper performance of this car. You know, it's real world British weather. You know, yeah, you could drive it in a lovely sunny hot day and get the most range and everything else, but actually I always say, if you want to test drive an EV, test drive it in the rain or the snow, or you know, or the wind and stuff, because all those factors will you know, they will factor into the range and things like that. Now this has got one pedal braking, which you know, those that have got an i3 and a Leaf will be familiar with, and it works spectacularly well. It's just a gorgeous car to drive, to be fair. Adjustable seats. You can do things like, hey Google, turn on the radio.
Alright, here you go.
There we go. Hey Google, turn off the radio. Hey Google, turn off the radio. But just, yeah.
But what?
I mean, it seems to work really well. The touchscreen is really not a huge screen. It's not overpowering, but what I like is the simplicity in here. And that's not to say that it's horrible. I like the simplicity in the fact that you've got a digital screen in front of you, which gives you all the relevant information. But then you've got a 12-inch screen, I would say, for a you know, all the other stuff and all the controls.
Exit the roundabout.
And there's still a few buttons here and there and stuff like that, but not as many as other cars that I've driven. And I like that. I like that balanced mix. And like, I'm not a fan of like too many buttons now. I'd rather it all be touchscreen, because that's just the way things are and how it's going now. The gear lever, I know it's weird to talk about a gear lever, but it's like, it's just, again, design choices in here are spectacular. The emblems around of Polestar on the steering wheel and on the gear stick and on the front and the back of the car, absolutely brilliant. The boot space is massive on this car, with a kind of a ski hole for me, skateboard hole. And you know, with adjustable tail boot, so you can, you know, for short people like me, you can adjust it so it shuts lower, and you can reach it. You know, everything about it, even down to like the wheel design, looks fantastic. You know, we're taking this car in the worst possible British weather, you know, because why wouldn't you? And we're taking it not along just like, you know, quicker roads, but little windy roads. We're now going a little country road out towards Buckinghamshire. There goes Google. And actually the mapping system and the live Google works really well. They've apparently, like, they've tightened up the suspension and stuff on this model as well, for the UK. But do you know what, just the materials in here as well, the materials in this car are premium. You can just tell by the feel. There's nothing that feels cheap or plasticky, or, you know, everything has got just a real nice premium feel. You know, you've got 4 cameras, one at the front, back, 2 sides. They're heated as well. You don't have misted up problems like for those cameras like you do in some other cars. They haven't gone digital wing mirrors, which seems to be the trend at the moment, but the only one I've seen that works really well is the oneR so far. Whether you know, other cars follow suit or not, whether it's just a trend, I don't know. But actually, you know, your views out the back, out the sides, through the thing are brilliant. The feeling of space in this car, and how kind of airy it feels with this really nice panoramic roof, again, is fantastic. And just generally, this car is an awesome car to drive, to be fair. I generally think I'm in love with this car. Now, obviously, coming from an i3, that was my first electric car. I've driven many electric cars over the last 2 to 3 years, so I do have a reasonable amount of experience with different cars. But I must say, this is one of the best cars I've driven, and it's comfortable. Now I'm sitting quite high because I'm a bit of a short ass. You've got adjustable seats, you've got heated seats. Everything about this car is something that, you know, if you're paying the price of this car, you're getting good value for money out of it. Now, the WLTP range that they state generally is, you know, is always higher than what it actually is. I would suggest if it's 280 miles, you'd probably get maybe comfortable 230, 240. It's a 73 kilowatt hour pack. It's quite a big pack for the range, but actually I don't care. I don't care about that. And the reason why is, like I've always said, like my next car, I love it to be this one. I'm happy with, as long as I can get a guaranteed 200 real world miles, because you know, in England especially, you don't need more than 200 miles. Don't get me wrong, you know, if you get a car and it's got 300, or we can do 250, 300, great, you know, that's great, you know. But actually a really good, fun, sporty 200 guaranteed miles, that's what you need. And this thing has got performance like you wouldn't believe. This packs a punch big time. And all I can say is that if you're thinking about getting one of these, don't think about get on one of these test drives. If you get an opportunity, check out Polestar's website, get on their mailing list, get a test drive. Honestly, you won't regret it. This car is spectacular. Yeah, I mean, hopefully you can see the look on my face that I'm generally enjoying this. Now, a bit around the car, there's you've got front lights which are auto adjustable. They sense the lighting in the road. So if cars are coming towards you and you've got high beam on, it will dip it down. The back rear lights are made up of, I think he said 280 odd LED lights, and it adjusts to what lighting you have. So if it's really dark, you'll get really bright lights. If it's not, and it's like, you know, daytime, it'll have almost like daytime running lights, so it'll adjust itself again. You know, this car is, it's not autonomous, but like it's got so many features that takes away the unnecessary stuff that you okay. It takes away all that unnecessariness of driving. Now I just like driving and I like tech. So, you know, this to me, you know, it's got a perfect combination of something that's spectacular to drive. It's got enough tech for it not to be silly, but also the mundane stuff, all the mundane stuff, like, you know, the lighting and things like that, you know, you're constantly on normal cars, you're adjusting and you're like, well, where's that button and all the rest of it. It's still got all the buttons and things like that if you wanted to, but at the same time, you don't have to. Just leave the car to do all the stuff itself. It just does what it does, and does it really well. The steering feels good on this. You know, it handles so well. It's brilliant, yeah. Love it, want one.
Perfect. Have the keys, give me some money.
See, I'll just take the car. Hey Google, take me home.
Navigating to home.
So we're heading back the halfway point, and we're navigating home via the G word. But I must admit, I'm super impressed. The cameras also give you a top-down round the car view, which works spectacularly well again. You know, everything about this car works as I'd hope it would work.
Take the next left to stay on Badger's Way, then turn left onto A421.
I'm gonna put it out there and say that this car,
take the next left onto A421,
has put me off put me off a Tesla. That's not to say that I don't like Tesla, and Tesla lovers out there, don't hate me. But this is what happens when you put both an electric car from the ground up and the refinement from Volvo together, and you make something spectacular. The other guy just making sure I'm going the right way. But this has got some serious kick, so I'm just going to give it a little bit of a humph. Wow, you are definitely pushed back in your seat when you drive this thing. Even in the rain, in this glorious British, not even summer, but damn it, summer, hurry up. This car is, yeah, I'm taken by this car, literally taken by this car. Now I'm sure there'll be others when I come to choose the successor to the i3. I love my i3, but it's time for something a bit more spectacular, and this is definitely in the running. This thing has got enough room for anything that we want to do. You know, good sized family car, good sized business car, enough room in the boot to actually, you know, get all the things that you need to. Great range, performance is incredible. Yeah, this car is something else, and I want to own one. Is basically the long and short of it. The functionality and stuff like that is in the center console, the center screen. There's a small amount of buttons on the console further down, as well as the gear stick. There's plenty of or enough buttons on the steering wheel for you to do all the functionality that you need to. You know, the finish in here is brilliant, and the cars actually that they have lined up at the Milton Keynes site was really good. The colour choices for this are really nice and really subtle. So you got like the nice dark black one that I'm in, then the bright sort of polar white sort of one. They're spectacular. But then you've got these sort of subtle colours in between, which are also just very nice chosen colours, and the interior as well, with, you know, these you know, yellow Polestar seat belts and things like that, just adds to that really nice look and that nice package basically for a car. I hope you found this video enjoyable and informative. If you did, do all the normal stuff, like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much to my Patreon supporters. A big shout out to Neil Roberts, who's been subscribing for a long time, who is head of the Nexus, the group of electric car groups in the UK, and Sussex EVs. Be sure to check those out if you're in that area. I'm one of the admins for Herts or Hertfordshire EVs. We're on Facebook, so check that out as well. And be sure to check some of my other videos out. I've done a recent impressions video of the ID4. I'm hoping to get a test drive of that soon, so for a full review. But check that video out as well. And yeah, until next time, thank you very much for watching. Please keep tuned to the channel. I'm not sure what I'm going to be covering next. Things are easing up a bit in the UK now, so it's taken, you know, it's a bit easier to do things like this, test drives and stuff like that now. So keep an eye on the channel, more stuff coming. But until next time, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon. Thank you very much. Bye bye.